the victim.
Afternoon all. Let us know when you're all set up on the cameras, please.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right, Andy or Connor, who's going first?
You guys just want to
Of course, mate. Yeah, no problem. Johannes, good to see you. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it's a bit early ahead of Saturday, but how's the squad sort of looking at this stage of the week, heading into the weekend? Any sort of fresh concerns at all?
No real concerns, I would say. It's of course always a fine balance between keeping the energy in the group and also using that we have now a couple of days of training where we can prepare and we can develop and improve. So it's that fine balance, but no, coming out of the games Sunday, it's been okay and players are feeling well.
I think you mentioned last press conference and last week they all merge into one. That you were expecting Christian Fashionat back this week.
Yeah.
In training. Has that happened as planned, and is he sort of back on the grass?
Yeah, he's been in with the group, and Tony Springett, also a player that we don't talk that much about, but also really nice to see him back. He's been fighting hard to come back and train with the group. He's also been in, so we've had a good amount of players this week, and also, you know, stepping into this part of the season where more and more games, and it's important for us that we have some options. So it's good.
In terms of those guys that are out, is the expectation that they'll be sort of all out up until after the November break? Is there any chance of any of them coming back for sort of the next block of games?
Yeah, like I said with Marcelino, we have to be a little bit careful here. But he's feeling fine and he's well, and I think it's up to us to take the decision whether we're gonna need him maybe the final game before the national break. But it can also be a consideration for us just to keep on training and keep on building him so he's fully ready for the first game after the break. So that's for us to take the decision when we're a little bit closer to that. Otherwise, yeah, Barnes is the same. He will be with the group after the national break. Yeah, Farsi is back. Tony Springett is back. O'Neill Gibbs will be the same. They also start to integrate maybe a couple of days before the Bristol City game, but will be available hopefully for match selection after the national break.
And I guess Angus fits into.
Yeah, I think it's the same. Maybe can go a little bit quicker with him, but also a decision and consideration for us that if we bring him too early, there's a risk. So. It's for us to consider whether it's going to be well spent to give him 10-12 days more if we don't put him into play before the national break.
Can I just check on one? Brad Hills, who I think has been sort of in and around the first team group but hasn't quite the 21s either. Is that a fitness concern or is that just numbers?
No, he had some back pain issues and has been out for 12 days now. Not on the pitch, not training. So no, that's the situation with him.
Is that one that you need to sort of assess moving forward? Or?
Yeah, and I think it was nothing severe. So, but he felt pain and couldn't train, and it's been like that. So he also went for a scan to see if something was wrong, and it was okay. So we just have to treat him, and I think he'll be ready within hopefully from start of next week, so he can compete again.
Cool. Okay, let's sort of start with the reflections on Middlesbrough. Crazy game. I'm sure you probably have mixed emotions about it from sort of elements of that first half performance, but equally probably real pride in the way the team came back. I think as you said on Sunday after the game.
It's some games are just, when you look at them after the final whistle and you think, okay, maybe a little bit disappointed with only 1 point at home and a little bit the same feeling in Preston. But some of the games that we play, they also a huge step in where we want to go and building a culture here in a little bit different way. So I definitely think we can really, really use these games because the team spirit, the mentality in the group is just fantastic, and we keep on building on that, and we keep doing everything we can on a daily basis to improve that, but also highlight that because that will make the difference in the tough moments for us. So I think that was exceptional to see from the boys. Of course, there will always be, and I think that's also even when we win, there will always be moments where we think we can be better, and that's also what we have spent the last couple of days on looking at where to improve. I think there was some good stuff besides the goal we scored, but also the chances that we created. I think there were some really good moments, but I also think there were some moments where everything got a little bit too hectic, and we didn't take care of the ball well enough and didn't have long enough attacks, which opened up for some transitions against, and also moments where we have to defend. So that we have to look at, but also as expected, that's 12 games in, there's still room for improvement.
Kenny McLean, I think when you spoke on Sunday, you haven't seen it back. I'm guessing now that you have seen it back. Can you share some of your reflections on it? I appreciate it's always a difficult topic to speak about, sort of fouls and referees in particular, but obviously the club have decided not to appeal it, and it's 3 games, isn't it? I think that he's going to be missing.
Yeah.
So what are sort of your reflections on that? Because I can probably say it feels like it's a harsh punishment for the type of tackle it is, being to be missing 3 games.
Then that's a good statement.
It's a big blow, though, isn't it, to lose Kenny, the type of player he is, the control that he gives you in midfield. Yeah,
it is, and the rules are as they are, and of course we follow the rules and have to listen to that. But it's 3 games for a situation like that where, okay, is it red or is it yellow? It's maybe somewhere in between. I will do everything I can to let the refs know that if a tackle like that happens in some of the games, then it needs to be another red, because there needs to be a line in this. But it is how it is, and again, sometimes when difficult moments happen, it also opens up the door for opportunities, and there will be opportunities for some of the other players. They have to now step in and take that leadership role and take the responsibility in the team. So I'm also looking forward to this, because now we're going to see what the team is made of, and some of the young guys, are they ready to take that next step, which is so much of how we want to build the team and how we want to do. So Kenny's out, that will always be not a concern for us, but it's not ideal for us, but we find solutions.
Yeah, and I think a lot of fans have been thinking about what those solutions could be, and I appreciate you're not going to tell us now, because we know that Cardiff and whatnot will mention, but I'm sure amongst your thoughts maybe is a change of formation. Is that something that you would consider? We've seen a 3 at the back at sort of different stages, but mainly when you've been chasing or sort of protecting leads. Is that something you'd be willing to go with from the start if the situation demanded? Yeah,
at least something we have to keep open. Like I said, we are 12 games in the season here, so there's still a lot of way for us to go, and also to open up doors for more variations in the game. And I would like us to be a team where we can do even more rotations and variations in games. So it's not something we have to change at halftime, or it's not something we have to change from game to game, but we can do it after 20 minutes with the same players on the pitch, but change a little bit of structure or positions to see if we can change the momentum of the game. So I think it's something where, of course, obviously you cannot start with that when you come in as a new coach, and everyone needs to understand the principles before we can start opening up that door. But it's something we are easily started with, and it would take time for us still. But I think we have seen so far that we can do these changes in halftime or leading up to a game. So definitely something that we consider, and it's just about finding the right timing to when we can start to also do it in games.
In terms of one player in that area, Jakob Sørensen, who's obviously just come back from injury and got, I think, a bit of the end of the game last time out. Is he in a position where he could realistically start a game? Is it one that you've got to manage quite carefully, particularly with a 3-game week coming up? Yeah,
it is. And again, when we step into the game Saturday, we also, of course, we do everything we can to win that, and that's the first priority. But we have to have an eye for that. We play again on a Tuesday night, and we play again on a Saturday after that. So it's a puzzle for us to make, and of course we have to be. We have to look at every aspect. We have to look at every possibilities for us making that puzzle. But he's a player where definitely he will have minutes, and we have to find out when it's going to be.
In terms of captain, because obviously Ken McLean's been wearing that, and no Grant Hanley is there as well. Is there somebody else who would now step into that position? I think maybe Shane Duffy probably feels like one of the natural options. He's in a host of options. I think it's maybe a bigger thing in England than it is in other countries, probably.
No, but if I give him the armband, then he will explode. So no chance it's going to be Shane. No, let's see. We are still actually in the process of making a kind of a leadership group within the team. And definitely the player that we're going to choose to be the captain on Saturday will be one of the players that are in that leadership group. But we haven't fully decided that yet, and we also need some. We actually also need to hear some of the players what they think, because we have to make sure that it's experienced players, but also some of the younger ones that we can build on. So it will be one of them. I think Shane could be a good option for us, also with his recent form and stuff like that. So that's definitely an option.
In terms of that leadership group, how do you go about choosing that? Because different coaches do it differently. Some of them let the players decide and have a vote and get some on, and try and get sort of a wide range of players. Some go for experience. What's your sort of approach to sort of forming that group?
It is again for me because I obviously plan here or plan for being here quite a long time. So it's not something we started with from day one. We as coaches also needed to get a feeling for how the individual is working, what kind of personality. It's a fact that Grant is the club captain and he will stay like that, and Kenny is the vice captain, so of course them two will be a part of that group, and then we just have to find the right balance with young, experienced players, also positions on pitch, different personalities, and we are in the process, and players will be heard in this because I think it's important, and they also have a saying in this, and that's, I think we're about to shape that group and find out, and yeah, you will see a little bit of it when we choose the captain Saturday.
Lovely, look forward to seeing that. Borja Sainz, and this may be a slightly different question, but there's some very good analysis done, not by me, I can't take credit for it unfortunately, but someone who's sort of looked at the positions that he's getting shots in, his expected goals rate. I think both of those are higher than what he achieved throughout the entirety of last season. A bit of a period of injury in there as well, but more shots in the penalty area. So is that something that you've seen and identified and changed within his game? Is that something that your system has created, or is that something that almost he's taken upon himself? It's a mix of all of the three categories, but I cannot neglect that. How I see football is that what you do as a collective unit is to create the best possible opportunities for the players that can decide the games for you. So what we try to do every time we play is to create some openings, some patterns, so our best players can arrive in the positions where they can actually do their best things. Then I cannot sit here as a coach and take all the praise for how he's finishing these moments and the goals that he's scoring. That's individual quality, and that's because he's training a lot on these finishings and doing everything he can to stay as sharp and as fit as possible. Which we also should praise is that he's playing close to 90 minutes every time he's playing, which I think is fantastic, because if you look at the intensity he also brings into the game, it's not on a low level. So it takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of hard work, but what we can try to do as coaches and as a team is to make sure that he recognizes these moments and he finds himself in these positions and spaces where he can be at his best, and that we can try to create as a team, and that we will keep on doing, because that's how I see football. Yeah, it's nice to be in a position where someone scored 10 goals and is the top scorer in the championship. We're talking about further improvement, but the creative aspects of his game, becoming a bit more of a creative force, is that something that you'd like to sort of add to his game? Because there's clearly the goal scoring elements, but would you like to sort of add that string to his bow, so to speak? Yeah,
but I think again, what it's important for us is that we put him into these positions where he can take the decision whether to go and have a shot himself, or whether to assist one of his teammates up front. And the fact is that he's done some brilliant assists so far this season. I think maybe if we look at some of the finishings as well, we could also have been close to having more numbers on the assist list. I remember a big one at home, was it against Hull to begin with, where he squared the ball for Josh at the back post in the opening minutes. So again, we have to do everything we can to create a shape for the team where he can show what he can do. And of course, he's a great finisher, so he will look for that opportunity quite often. But I think actually he's creating a lot of chances and good moments for us.
I mean, in terms of Josh, because it's obviously difficult with him, because you need him to stay high, and we've spoken about sort of essential position, but is there a way that you sort of need to unlock him being more involved in games? You look at some of the touches that he's had, and if so, what's the best route to sort of doing that?
Again, everything we do is about creating the structure and the fundamentals, the principles, so everyone has an understanding of how do we play and what do we do and how is it we want to score goals and how is it we want to defend, and when that is in place, we can start to work a little bit more in details with some of the players. And I spoke one of the other days with Josh about that. We need to have him more involved in the games. We need him to show even more for the ball, whether it's into feet or whether it's into space in behind the back line. But we need him for our performance in the game. So we've actually started a little bit this week to see if we can create some patterns that involves him a little bit more, because he's an important player for us. Just look at his involvement in goals for us, but also his involvement in the pressing game for us, where he's so important. But there's more to come, and it's for us as coaches to open up that door with him and also for the rest of the players, so they can find him in even better positions and even better moments. But it's something we definitely look at.
In terms of this weekend then, Cardiff, obviously they've had a managerial change, that unbeaten in 5. What are the big changes that you've maybe seen from them since that managerial change? It seems to have stabilised them a little bit.
Yeah, and actually, to be fair to them, I think they've played some very good games. We just had a big meeting yesterday about them and how we can create some openings against them, but also how we have to defend against them, where they look in their best moments calm on the ball. They create some good opportunities with the two strikers that drop deep to receive in between the lines, and then to have these two wingers on the outside who can dribble and who can create some space and some width. Also in attacking teams where they want to bring their fullbacks as a part of that game. So we have to be solid defensively, and we have to avoid too many situations where they can break the lines for us and go in between us and create the game from these positions. It also gives us some opportunities on the counter if we are good enough in defending. So again, like always, when we prepare for these games, we have to go into details. We have to create a structure that fits everything in the game, both defensively and offensively. And that's the same we will do for Cardiff, because I think they are in form at the moment, and it's going to be a tough one for us.
Final two from me. First one is going to be around draws, and obviously they're much better than defeats, but how do you begin to start to turn some of them into victories? I guess probably not conceding goals and giving yourself or giving teams a start is the main answer behind that.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, there's a fine balance, because when sometimes we're in front and then the games can change within a second in this league. So I think there's something about how we approach the minutes just straight after we scored a goal. I'm not completely satisfied with our reactions to that. I think we should see if we can be at least even more offensive in that part of the game. First 5, 8, 10 minutes after our goal, see if we can chase the next goal. And fact is that we have conceded some goals just a couple of minutes after we have scored, which is not good enough, and we have to be better there. I think that's one of the reasons why it's been too many draws and not too many wins. Then of course also because it is tough games. It is, especially when we go away from home, it's always difficult. But we have to make sure that we can have as much as the game where we can be dominant, and that's what we keep on working at, and we will do that every day we are in the building here. So I think these two areas of the game is where we can improve, but also have shown that we are good.
Final one for me. I know there'll be lots of Norwich fans planning to go down on Saturday. I sort of got in a similar question last week, which is in terms of how appreciative you are of maybe their patience and how much they put into what you guys are doing, because you go back and you referenced it before, that game against Blackburn where there was a late goal that was conceded and they sang you off the pitch. Even after Oxford, where maybe a lot of fans would have questioned where you guys were going, maybe you did as well. But the fact they've stuck with you guys, that's massive, isn't it, for you walking into a new club, trying to build something for the long term, as you've spoken about.
Yeah, and not to sound arrogant at all, because that's not the purpose here, but I think the benefits from trying to create a clear identity, and everyone can see what we try to do here. And it's not only me, it's all the coaches, it's all the players, it's everything we do on a daily basis. When we reach out to the community around here, we reach out to people in the city, whatever we do representing Norwich City, I think what we try to build is that identities for everyone to see, and they know what they can expect. And we try to be as open and as honest as possible. So when we're not playing well, we address it and we say it, and when we're playing well, we do the same. And I think when people feel that, they also feel that they are closer connected. And I think what a football club needs, and especially in a fantastic city like this, is that we have to connect the club to the fans and to the people here. So everyone is together. It's not the club against the people. It's not the club against the fans. It's everyone together. So I actually try to see it as a way when we, get away from Swansea with a defeat. It's us losing, and it includes the fans. And the other way around when we win it, and that's what we try to create here. That's the clear identity we try to build here, and I hope that is the reason why we see so great support. Even though we are conceding goals, even though we are behind in games, we receive great support. And I said after the game on Sunday, the place was on fire when we scored. That's just the second goal in the game. It was fantastic to be out there. I just imagine how must feel like to be a player in there with that support. So that's what we try to create, and that's the reason why we do it.
Thanks, Johannes. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Andy?
Hi, Johannes.
Hey.
I wouldn't expect you to reveal the team, but is Kellen Fisher maybe a solution for centre midfield? I know you experimented with him in pre-season, didn't you?
He can play a lot of positions, yeah. So, it's a good question. I think definitely we've tried him before. He also played as a midfielder towards the end of the game on Sunday. So definitely he has the technical skills to do it. Of course, he's in form at the moment. He's really doing well. So, and it can also open up for Jack, which is still he's still doing everything he can to get into the team again. So definitely an option for us.
I mean, you mentioned Kellen. He's doing brilliantly, isn't he?
Yeah, he's.
Is there any danger if you take him out of that right back position that momentum might go a little bit? Are you sort of conscious of that?
Yeah, and you invite yourself into the coaching office with these kind of questions, because that's how it is, and that's every day we take these decisions. When we put in a team that's about to play on a Saturday, we have to consider, okay, if we move him from this position, do we actually get the best out of him? Do we open up the door for another good player to come in, or do we need to keep him in this position? And it goes for every player on the pitch. If we put him in here and he can play with this guy, do we get the best out of them then? And that's for us to see in training and in games, and then from weekend to weekend try to put the best possible team on the pitch. But it's all the questions that we ask each other on a daily basis, and we keep on doing that.
I mean, talking of informed players, Colin touched on it there, or Sainz. You've coached a lot of really good players at Norwich, haven't you, that went on to big European leagues. How good is Borja Sainz? How does he compare, do you think?
He's up there. I think he needs to still improve his defensive game, where he can be better. He can be more solid. He can be. I would say actually he's quite intense, but he needs to do it more, and he needs to be better in reading these moments when he can do it, and needs to be better in reading the moments where he track back and support a fullback or support the midfield line or whatever. That's the step he needs to take before he can really reach the highest possible level. If I only look at him as a football player with his qualities and what he can do in games for us, then he's up there. I've not had a player before that can score goals like he's scoring goals. So individual qualities definitely up there. So that's why it's so exciting. It's exciting for everyone. It's exciting for him. It's for us, because now really everyone can see what he can do, but can we bring it to a consistent level, and can we also improve the areas of the game where he needs to improve? And he's in every day, and he's in, even though I give him a half a day off once in a while. he still want to come in the building and improve and work on the details where he needs to be better. So I see a guy at the moment where his mindset is the right place, his mentality is really, really good. So yeah, let's see. It's so exciting. I think definitely he can go up there.
Yeah, I mean, he must be bursting with confidence, mustn't he? Are you noticing that other teams are they sort of doubling up on him? Are they trying to stop him? Is that something you're noticing as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think definitely there is this. I also spoke to him before. I can't remember what game. That now he needs to understand that he will be a part of the opposition's tactical meetings now. Meaning that he needs to understand that there can be different things going on in the games that maybe we cannot prepare because we didn't know. I could see in the weekend or Sunday against Middlesbrough that they changed the play on the right back position, which can be a reason. We don't know, but that's something we have to prepare him for, and we're talking about that. But it's a great place to be in. And at the moment, I also think he said that after the game, he has the confidence, so he believes that every shot he he takes at the moment, they will go in. So it's a perfect position for him to be in.
And the final question, you've done a lot of travelling recently, haven't you? Stoke and Preston last week, and then you're off to Cardiff and Sheffield this week. How much of a challenge is that for you as a coach? And your players, actually, dealing with that?
It's a part of the football business. So you have to learn that, and you have to gain some experience in that area of the game. But that's a part of the business and the industry and how it is. And I think I travelled a lot last season with Norwich, where we've played in Europe every Thursday night, and I think we were all over Europe. But it's the same here. So there's a lot of travelling, and I think that's sometimes the difficult part for a player to really switch on in the moments where the game starts, and you have to be present, and you have to bring in your best performance and your intensity and everything into the game, and that's where you have to learn, and that's maybe also where we see at the moment that sometimes we drop a little bit in that, and it can be a reason because of the travelling, but it's not an excuse. We just have to be better, but it also comes down with experience.
Really good luck, Sensor.
Thank you.
Thanks, gents. If you're gonna have the